What is up, YouTube? I am Christian from Theo and Harris. We do a series every week, or twice a week, called Ask T&H, where we answer audience questions and stuff like that. But I think that I want to take a much more kind of raw approach to this and talk about the industry a lot more. So I'm going to start doing that. This series is going to be called RANT&H, like RANT&H. Get it? Because Theo, show it. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Frederique Constant was bought by Citizen. Brief rundown of both the companies. Citizen is obviously a huge Japanese company. They make watches that are very technologically driven, but more so than a spirit in technology, it's a spirit in the mass market, right? It's a company that is supposed to make money and make a ton of it. They do mass distribution into retail stores like Macy's and Bloomingdale's and all these, Target, Walmart. It's that kind of brand. They bought the company Frederique Constant. Frederique Constant is a small Swiss independent. That company at the core of it is an independent spirit, right? It takes on with quality and with time and attention. I mean, seriously, if you really look at their watches as a whole, they take on great complications like the perpetual calendar, and they offer them at an affordable price. They really try to kind of make the market humble and make it affordable and more attainable to the mass market, but without compromising quality. The way I see it, there are two potential options here. The first is that Citizen basically takes the heart and soul of Frederique Constant, rips it out, throws it away, make it an independent, by name only money machine for Macy's, for Bloomingdale's. Frederique Constant will be reduced to a fancy Timex. On the other hand, Citizen could really take Frederique Constant and apply their mass production strategies, produce Frederique Constant 8 times what they're doing now. They can make Frederique Constant a better version of what they are today. Still just as true, just making a lot more money. For more info on the actual buyout, like what that means to Citizen, what that means to Frederique Constant, which is very important, just go to theoandharris.com, plug, and we'll put a whole article up about it. I don't want to talk about that whole thing. I want to focus just on social media here today, just on how watch companies need to focus on speaking to the consumer, not just selling to them. I'm a bigger fan of NOMOS than I am of Frederique Constant. I think that NOMOS does a better job in design. But their production, by making a world timer for $6,000 is rebellious. That's awesome, but their marketing isn't the same, right? I view this as a serious opportunity for Frederique Constant to market like they produce watches in a disruptive, in a creative, in a very approachable way, a way that really speaks to people that NOMOS I don't think necessarily does. Why do I want this? I want it because I want to see a small guy take on the big guys and show him who's boss. Like, I want a changing of the guard. Is that so wrong? It's easy for the Swiss companies to just complain and bitch and moan that sales aren't high enough because China isn't spending enough or America is not. Well, that's not it. Yes, it does play a factor. But these companies have not evolved socially or in communication since ever. This old dude arrogance because they've done so well for the past 25 years, they have everything they want, that they're still doing the right thing. That's what they think. And they're not. You have to evolve with this. Otherwise, you're going to continue to lose market share. Look at Patek. They bitch and they whine and they complain that they're losing, their sales are decreasing, and they don't do a thing on social to change it. Have you seen their website? We actually did an article about it a little while ago. Put the link here below. But it's the truth. And right now, you have more money. But in the long term, you're not speaking to people. And in an era in which everyone is on their cell phone constantly, how much time do we spend on Instagram? And if you're not speaking to me on Instagram, I probably don't give a shit about you. If I don't go through my feed and you're there on Snapchat, the odds are you're not on my radar. I think that Frederique Constant has a perfect opportunity here to not fall into that pit. So how do I think I could do it? I know that Frederique Constant should start to speak to people. They should start to do their whole thing with Citizen where they make a lot more money and they have better production, but they should start to speak to people like no one else in the watch industry is doing. I would love to see Frederique Constant streamline their production, right, like Citizen is probably going to do, but also not be arrogant, to pay attention to social media. I think that they can, if they really start doing it well, if they start using Snapchat, right? Doing it inside the manufacturer via Snapchat. That would be awesome. Meet the watchmakers, do an Instagram, with great photos, but with honesty. Don't be a computer, be a company, be a person, because if they do, they'll be able to speak to people, and it won't matter whether or not they're in Macy's or they're in Tourneau or they're in Wempe. It's going to matter that as long as you can buy it online, as long as you can go to their own shop and buy, it will sell, right? And that's really important. And that's kind of why I think that it's so important that younger people are hired as interns or as employees at these companies. You can go work for Longa and kind of know the basic principle of their lineup and stuff like that. But if you understand how to storytell through social, right now in this industry, it's incredible. That is what, like, principally, that is what Theo and Harris is. That is why we've had such success in our readership. Not because we're smarter than our competitors. They know plenty of shit. It's not that we're smarter or better. It's that we understand that we can speak to our audience, whereas the other ones don't. If they put their arrogance aside, they really recruit younger people that have an understanding of social and how to speak to people. They become, a powerhouse. And if they don't do this and they choose to continue on their kind of citizen way where they'll just do mass distribution, they will make the short buck, like 150%. They will make the short buck out of Frederique Constant, and they will squeeze everything out of that brand until it's kind of dry. That kind of neglect is going to lead to destruction throughout the entire industry. And I hope it happens because they deserve it. Those are my thoughts on the Frederique Constant sale. But TheoHarris.com. Thank you guys for watching the first Rant&H. I know it wasn't too heated or crazy because I don't feel angry about the topic. I just kind of feel passionate about it. And I really want to see these guys do well. But if you don't already, follow us on Snapchat at Theo and Harris. Follow us on Instagram and all that bullshit. Send me an email too, info@theoandharris.com. I'd love to talk about this kind of thing. It's awesome. All right, be well, guys.